Hello. This is the continuing series of videos on preparing and reviewing for the AP Human Geography exam that will be on Thursday, Cinco de Mayo, May 5th. Before I touch on cities and services, I would like to cover a couple of things, kind of administratively, I suppose, about doing the exam. Um, so what I'm going to do is make two little short videos talking about the multiple choice section and talking about the essay section. Helpful advice that may make this job easier for you as you sit down and take these exams. I'm going to do multiple choice for this one. There will be 60 multiple choice questions on the AP Human Geography exam. You have 60 minutes to answer them. That means that, yes, you have 1 minute a question to answer them. I'm going to give you some pieces of advice on how to do that. The first one is don't get bogged down on a question. Um, and the easiest way to prevent this from happening is go through the test booklet and look at all the questions one by one. And as you go through in the test booklet, figure out what your answer is. And if you've hit a question and you know what it is, you scribble down, you circle it, you do whatever. This is what that answer is. Yay. If you had a question where you're not really sure, maybe out of the answers, you've got it kind of narrowed down to maybe two, but you're not sure which one it is, then what I want you to do is in the test booklet, next to that question, put a circle, just a little circle next to it. You're going to move on. And if you hit the next question and it's a question of, oh my God, I've never seen this nothing, I have no idea what this question's about. None, no idea. Put a dot next to that question in the test booklet, a little dark dot. And I want you to go through all 60 questions like this in the test booklet. Go through and figure out which ones you know, which ones you kind of know, and which ones you have no idea. Go all the way through. When you've gone all the way through the 60 questions, I want you to then take the bubble sheet and the questions that you knew, I want you to go ahead and record them on the bubble sheet. Make sure you are bubbling the right bubble for each question because that's not going to work well if you don't. But I want you to go ahead and all those that you were sure of, go ahead and bubble those on there. Once you've done that, then go back to the ones that have circles. Those are the ones you had it down to about two. Look at those. It's time to make a decision. Which one do you think it is? Whatever that is, go ahead and get them bubbled. Go all the way through the exam, bubbling the ones that have circles. That leaves the ones that you are utterly baffled about. Now, at this point, you are probably getting close to the end of your time. So go through these, try to answer as many as you can. What you think your guts are telling you, it's probably C then. When you hit the moment where you are, your proctor's probably going to tell you you have 1 minute remaining or 5 minutes remaining or something like that. But especially if it's 1 minute remaining, whatever bubbles you have on your bubble sheet that have not been answered, you're going to put an answer in it. And I do not care how you do that. I don't care if the remaining bubbles you make all A's, do ACDC. I don't care what it is that you come up with. But before they say time has expired, pencils down, I want every bubble bubbled up for those questions because there is absolutely no way you're going to get it right if there's no answer for that question. If you had no idea, at least you have a percentage chance of just by random chance, you're going to get some of those right. Now, the reason why I have you doing it this way is what happens a lot is people will be going through there and they hit a couple of tough questions and they get bogged down and they end up wasting 5 minutes trying to figure that question out. By the time they get close to the end of time, they still have 15, 20 questions left to go, and they end up doing that bubble thing that the last 15 are all A's. Now the problem with that is that you probably knew what some of those answers were and you could have gotten them right. And that is why I'm an advocate of go and bubble the ones you know first all the way through so you don't end up with that chunk of the test where you could have, you knew what question 57 was, but you didn't have the time to answer it properly because you never actually looked at the question. So don't do that to yourself. Get every last question that you know right on there first. Then deal with the ones where you kind of know it, but you're not really sure. It could be this, it could be that. Save that for the second batch. And that way you can hit all of those. And if you think about it, you've already probably got what, a 50-50 shot of getting it right at this point. That's better than, again, having those at the very end where you're just kind of randomly putting an answer there. And those that are that you just don't know at all, well, you want to save those for the end anyway because you were probably going to guess anyway, right? So probably odds aren't going to change that much for those. This will allow you to get, on average, a few more multiple choice questions right. And that may not seem like a whole lot, but remember that it all has to do with the median. What is the median score? And the more that you can get right, the more likely that you're on the right side of that median line. And that's where you want to be, is on the right side of the median line. So this is a way to squeeze out some more questions. The funny thing is that doing it this way, often students find that they actually got the test done faster because they got a chance to answer all those questions they knew first, and they then had time to think about some of these other ones and got those done. And so they actually end up answering all the questions much sooner than had they gone just one after the other all the way through. This may buy you some time to go back and look at some of those questions that you weren't really sure of, or you had no idea at all. Look at them one more time. Maybe something that will jump out and go, oh, okay, that's what that is. But anyway, I highly recommend doing this method. This is the Blake method of doing standardized multiple choice questions, and it works. And I hope you might look at doing it. Another piece of advice, be very careful of the accept questions. Everything is like this except the problem with accept questions is we are trained to look for the right answer on multiple choice questions. You're looking for what is correct. On an accept question, you're looking for what's wrong. And our minds tend to focus on the ones that we know are right. And the problem is, again, you're looking for what's wrong. And so be very, very careful of accept questions. Again, you're probably looking for the wrong answer then. So process of elimination, eliminate all the ones that are actually probably right, and go for the one that is wrong. Be careful. And then speaking of, in these test booklets, cross stuff out, circle stuff, underline, whatever it is you want to do. That test booklet is yours to mangle in any form that you want. And so if you want to go through and circle all the action words or important words, technical words, just so you know to focus on that stuff, especially the action word. What is it telling you to do in this question? So think about that. Think about being able to mark it all up. That may help help you organize your thoughts. Again, process of elimination on the answers. Knock off the ones. Draw a line through the ones that you know it can't be this. It's not that. It's not that. That'll help you narrow it down to a right answer. Chances are, if you can get it down to two different answers, again, you got a 50-50 shot, right? That's better than less than that. Almost all of your never questions or always questions, especially as answers, are not right. There is very few instances when the use of the word never or every is a right answer. So if you see those, the chances are you could probably exclude them. They're probably not right because there's very few circumstances where that is always true, right? Pay attention if you've got charts, maps, pictures, anything in multiple choice. They will almost always have a title. They will almost always, if it's like a chart or a map, it'll have a key. You should be paying attention to those because they are going to give you clues as to what this question is about and what's important in this question. So when you're looking at the map or looking at the chart, always look at the title and the key first, because that's going to tell you what that chart or that map is really telling you. And if you know that, then you can look at the question and have a better background as to trying to figure out what this question is going to be about. Look for them. They're going to be there. Sometimes pictures have captions. Look at the caption. If they give you some sort of cartoon or something, look at how things are labeled in that cartoon. That may be giving you the clue as to what this question's all about. So keep that in mind. Again, it's going to be one question a minute. Be aware of time. There should be a countdown clock or some sort of timing device in the room. Be aware of how much time you have left, especially once they do that. You have 1 minute remaining. If you have any bubbles, bubble them. Make sure that it is completely filled in before time expires, because what's going to happen is you're going to seal all that stuff up and they're going to pick it up. You're not going to see it again. And so you're not going to get a chance to bubble anything else after that time expires. Do not leave any of them blank. That's my pieces of advice. Good luck.